the same, is that we're working on the same file. We're not emailing files back and forth.
Right.
You know, if I'm working in our Okanagan office and Stephanie is in the Tri-Cities office, we're just working off the exact same file. There's no problems with versioning or losing track of stuff. It just works brilliantly.
By far, the best thing about this is everything can be done in the web. Now, you can still use traditional tools like Word and Excel and that kind of stuff and save them to Google Drive, but you can do everything in the browser. You can add, there's a, you know, the Google G Suite webpage has more info on everything that's in here. So go ahead and take a look and you know, give us a shout if you got any questions. We can help you out. There are a million things you can plug into this whole world. So for example, in the ERP and logistics page, there's all kinds of stuff you could do that might help you. There's accounting things you could plug into it. And all of these blend together into one big G Suite world.
I think there's some really good productivity tools like project management tools that work really well.
Yeah, there's a ton of great things here, you know, even for teachers, there's a bunch of teaching tools. One of the awesome things about Google Drive is the amount of storage you get. I don't know if you can see this here, but your account at ThinkTechnic can use unlimited storage. I can back up everything in here and I'll never run out of room. I can keep going and going and going and going and going and they don't stop anybody. So to show you an example of how it looks in the web, it's a basic, your web-based file folder structure kind of thing. The presentation we're working on is right here. You can even put in regular Microsoft Word files and work on them. It'll take a second to open up here. So I can open up a Word doc, edit it, and away we go. And I can't reach the toolbar at the top. No, the zoom button gets in the way. So I have a document here that I shared with Stephanie. I don't know if Stephanie has it open. I just wanted to show everybody how we can, multiple people can collaborate on it at once. So you'll see.
Stephanie's up there. Yep,
Stephanie's up there, yeah. So when I type, Stephanie can erase that if she's there.
I'm trying.
What's she saying?
She was logged into one system and now she's logged into another system,
okay.
right? So
well,
my mistake remains. But Stephanie and I do this all the time. So
just to show you the idea is that two people can work on a document at once. Multiple people can work on it at once. You can add comments. You can add notifications. There's all sorts of things you can do. Just wanted to give a quick view. Now, along with the G Suite world, there are specific laptops that work really, really well with this. And you can see here, they start off super cheap. We have one of the first generations of Chromebooks. I don't know how old it is now. It's 5 or 6 years old, and it still works like the day we got it. It's awesome. And of course, they go way up in price, all the way to these super awesome screen, much bigger ones. What's awesome about these is there's nothing to update. Can't get infected with viruses. Batteries last like 12 hours. They go forever. It's just a phenomenal way to get business done. It's so much cheaper than buying a $1,000 laptop. We were going to talk about, did we cover these already?
Well, we talked about Google Meet in the previous slide, but you were going to cover it.
So Google Meet is a free product from Google where you can, just like what we're doing right now in Zoom, you can join or start meetings.
It's well, you have to be a G Suite user to implement a meeting, but anyone can join a meeting.
That's right. So if you want to create a meeting, you have to be have to have a G Suite account, which are fairly cheap. They're 10, 12 bucks a month, that kind of thing. And then there's Google Hangouts, which we use to, pardon me, communicate all the time. Stephanie and Anita, and we have our little boxes here, and you can do all kinds of things. You can even do phone calls. You can call people up. I'll call Anita right now.
No, please don't.
Okay.
I think what's really great about Google Drive and like the whole G Suite world is that whether I'm in the office or I'm somewhere else, I just access it via Chrome. So I could just pull up all my whole entire account, my Gmail, all my files, everything. I just pull it up via the internet. So it doesn't, even if you spilled coffee all over your laptop, you could go that afternoon, get a new laptop, and you'd be up and running.
That's
within minutes, actually.
Your office could catch fire. You don't need to worry about backing anything up. Your Your car can get broken into, your laptop could get stolen, your
And
phone could get stolen, all your stuff is still there.
And it's really easy to implement with Teams as well. And some customers we work with, their teams really love using something like Outlook. And so they're worried that if they use something like G Suite, they actually won't be allowed or able to use Outlook. But you can use Outlook just in the same way.
Sure.
You just filter your Gmail account through Outlook. And so really nothing on the front end changes.
Right. The other thing I wanted to show really quick was Office 365. There are two versions, of course. The at-home version, it's just you and Excel and Word and Outlook and all that stuff. But then there's the business component of it where you attach, again, your business domain name, coca-cola.com, and you create this whole world for all your users. And you have shared folders and drives and all kinds of things. And there's a million tools that are built into it. So Word and Outlook and all that stuff. There are a million more things that you can plug into it that all tie together. So messaging apps, all sorts of things. Microsoft Teams is the remote meeting tool. So you can communicate, you can chat, you can video call, you can phone call, you can do group calls, you can have a shared calendar.
You can set up different teams to work on different projects.
Exactly, yeah. And there's a lot of things that you can add into it as well. Let's see here. One of the great things about Office 365, I love it. Some people hate it, but it's a really good tool nevertheless. It's called SharePoint. And SharePoint is a lot like Teams where you create a section for a specific project or a division or group or whatever you want to call it.
It could be your HR documents. Maybe anything.
Yeah, and in here you have basically a home page for this particular project and you add stuff into it. And then you have documents and people are part of the group and those are the only people that can access all these things. And so you can I did this already. That's it. Let's head back to this.
I don't really think there's any downside with implementing sort of these cloud-based applications, right, in order to run your business.
No.
Really in this day and age, there's not many clients we work with that aren't cloud-based or aren't moving in that direction.
Yeah.
Not only because of what's happening right now and sort of, but also for disaster planning overall. So if your office caught on fire or there was a flood or, anything at all happened.
And for sure, it's not all or nothing. You can migrate parts of your business to it. So you can set up a G Suite account and just use email and do everything else the old school way. There's no definitive tie-in.
You can mix and match. You can still use Word, you can still use Excel, but store everything in G Suite.
And
it's really about working within the platform that works best for your company. So you have to take a little bit of time to really understand each platform and understand its benefits and weaknesses for your business.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a matter of, you like Mercedes or you like BMW and there's no changing your mind.
Are you buying me a Mercedes? Is that what you're saying?
Not now.
Oh, all right.
All right. I want to talk about Remote Desktop. Remote Desktop is a tool, maybe some of you have seen it before. It's a way to basically sit in front of your desk at the office from your house. That's the easiest way to put it. It copies your screen and the keyboard from your office over to your screen at your house. And you can work as if you're sitting somewhere else. So if some of the tools you have to use aren't cloud-based and they are tied into your computer at your office, this is a great way to be able to get to it. But you need to talk to your IT provider or your team or at least management before implementing it, because you can easily set yourself up with giant holes where bad guys can get in and now take over your entire network as if they're sitting at your desk. Mm-hmm. It really is like a Harry Potter magic trick where you transport yourself into your office. You got to be careful with it.
Well, there used to be a time as a designer when online applications weren't available. You couldn't have your design program set up on multiple computers, where I would have to do, if I was working from home, I would have to log in with Remote Desktop to do design work at night. And it works really well. Mm-hmm. It works really, really well, but it's just not as great as cloud. I'm just going to say it.
Well, yeah, some of the tools work better than others. There's a lot out there right now. These ones all have free components to them. My favorite is actually Chrome Remote Desktop. It's built into Chrome. It works super fast. It's really nice. So you don't need to have a G Suite account. You can just use a regular Gmail account. Of course, there's TeamViewer. Another one that's my favorite and is always free is dwservice.net. It's phenomenal. AnyDesk, Splashtop, ConnectWise, they all have free parts, and they all have corporate paid parts as well that have a few more services like file transfers. But DW Remote Control has it all. So try that one out.
We'll make sure that we get Stephanie the link and we put it into the presentation where you can go and see all these links later and check them out one by one. And we do have a chat open on our website for the times that we are actually in here not dealing with clients. If you see chat open on the site, feel free to give us a little chat and we can answer any questions that you have.
I wanted to just give a heads up on what a VPN is. If you are working from home and you need to access your desktop, the safest way, aside from some of those tools, which are pretty safe, I use them all the time, is a VPN. A VPN basically is software that connects your computer with the network at your office using encrypted blah, blah, blah technology, nerdy magic. That's the best way to do it. But again, it's not easy to set up. It takes a little bit of work and know-how, but that is the best way. So that's what a VPN. A VPN is a magical link between your computer and your office.
We also just want to take a minute to talk about network security, kind of a big topic going on with all the COVID-19 situation out in the world, actually. And just this morning alone, these are just 3 articles that popped up in our feeds. First thing, coronavirus sets the stage for hacking mayhem. Themed ransomware and malware. The internet is drowning in COVID-19 related malware. I don't know. I feel shocked that this is happening at the same time, yet not shocked that this is happening.
I'm surprised it took so long.
In a way.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to, since we have you here, we want to take a minute, more than a couple of minutes to go through some key things about managing your data, protecting it. So we're going to talk about, just really quickly, managing passwords, how you spot the boogeyman, how you spot the bad guys. And then I actually don't think we're covering crisis recovery planning, but we can talk about it just really briefly. So managing passwords isn't really about password length or difficulty. It's really about developing best practices. And just briefly, you should never recycle passwords. You should never have the same password for everything, in the same way that you don't have one key for your car, your house, your bank, your storage unit, your office. You should never have the same password for everything, because if your account gets hacked and they find your one password, now they can get into everything if you've used the same password.
And as we have all experienced at some point having to do a password reset somewhere, it sends you the magical link to reset a password for whatever website you're looking at to your email account. So if your email account gets hacked, now the bad guys can log into everything else.
Right.
So that your email account, especially if you use that to log into other things, that you have to get on top of, make that a really good password. I want to talk about these last 3 things here. It's use a password manager. Passwords are long and crazy complicated, and
or they should be.
They should be. And where do you store them? You don't write them down on a piece of paper, please. That can get found. Don't put it in an Excel spreadsheet, because if that Excel spreadsheet makes its way out of your hands, it's now out in the open. Password manager is like a little personalized database that encrypts your notes. So that's where you would store your stuff. There's a couple that we use, like KeePass. I don't know if we listed them. No.
No.
That was another presentation where we went through all the passwords. But if you need a hand with using a password manager, just give us a note. We can send you some tips and tricks. 2-factor authentication is when you have a second password. So you log into a website, and then it tells you it's going to send you a note to your phone, and you have to punch in the code, or you're going to open up a program on your phone that has a number that changes every 60 seconds, and you have to match that number with the website.
Just another layer of protection.
It's a must-have for important accounts. You have to turn on 2-factor authentication for anything that's important. If you're logged into dogsaresupercool.com, who cares? But if you're logged into your email account, especially your business email account, you have to get that set up. You don't want that broken into. Slow down.
No, I mean, like you're talking real fast.
I am talking
you're excited.
real fast.
You're so excited.
Yeah.
I know.
Creating a company-wide password policy. It's up to the boss to make sure that everybody understands that they cannot share passwords. That's a big no-no, because you want to eliminate the chances of somebody doing something with somebody else's account that they don't want them to. And also teaching people about two-factor authentication and using a password manager. So that's comes from the top down.
Essentially, you should start with creating a password-wide policy
Yeah.
and then implement those 3 things
Yeah.
across company-wide. So yeah, spot the boogeyman. It's kind of a hard one, and they're getting so sophisticated.
Yeah.
These guys, in the way that they're able to hide who they are. But really, these bad guys, they want your info, and here's how they're making you give it up: phishing scams, social hacking, and domain spoofing, and 1-800-CALL-A-HACKER. And we actually have a little bit more information on each of these.
So phishing scams is when you get an email that says, oh my God, your bank account is being locked out. Please sign in here and give us your social insurance number or whatever it is that they're asking for. Just be cautious. Anything that makes you scared as an email, look 10 times at it. And if you're still really worried, send it to your IT guy or us. Just have somebody else look at it and go, is this legit? Really the best way to do it, and I wonder if everybody can see this, when there's a link somewhere, and you hover your mouse over it. Let's find a link. Let's find a link here. So I hover over this link that Stephanie sent me. And Stephanie sent me a link that says https://zoom.us, blah, blah, blah. But you see in the bottom left-hand corner of Chrome, it'll pop up down here. It shows what the actual link is. Well, in this case, I know that it looks a little funny here because Google wraps it up in something. But you can tell right away, if you get an email with a weird click here to open up this PDF and you put your mouse on it, you can see where it's actually going to go.
It might be that it was your bank with RBC, but rather than it coming from rbc.com/, it'll come from like rbc.com-
security.
I'm the bad guy's security.html.
Yeah, it'll look like something that's trying to trick you. Just pay attention. That's the best way to do it. So the social hacking and domain spoofing, the domain spoofing is, hiding a URL in a link. Also, there's ways to trick your equipment into making you go to the wrong place. First of all, Microsoft, Google, and Apple will never call you. They'll never say, I'm sorry, but your Google account is out of order. We need your credit card number to get it readjusted. That never happens. They also don't take payment in gift cards. A lot of people have been caught by that scam.
Yep.
CRA, this is the CRA. We need you to help us out with London Drugs. They're doing something bad. We need you to go there and buy 10 Apple cards. And then give us the numbers off the back. Always check the URL. We just talked about that. The URL is the hyperlink, the website where you're about to go to. If you're ever wondering about it, hover your mouse over the link and somewhere on your screen, it'll pop up and show you where it's about to take you. If you ever get a cold call, hi, this is John from Microsoft. I noticed a problem on your computer. I'm going to need you to install some software so I can fix it for you. Don't do that. That's not going to happen. And don't give them money and don't let them in your computer. Keep a track of the software that you use so that you can't get caught by a scam. If you don't have Adobe Illustrator, somebody can't call you and say, hey, there's a problem with your Adobe Illustrator. Just know what you're doing. And don't trust anyone within reason. Santa Claus, I guess, is okay. If you're not sure, get info, research, and call them back. If your bank is telling you you have a problem, say, that's great. Hang up, look up the real number for Royal Bank or Coast Capital or whatever you have, call them up and say, hey, I just got a call from somebody who's saying they were at your bank. Is there a problem? And of course, use an IT partner. So the 1-800-CALL-A-HACKERS. I'm sure some of you have seen this before. It just suddenly pops up on your screen. This is not legitimate. It's not a real program. There's nothing wrong with your computer. This is all fake. It's a website that has been hacked or a website that you've been accidentally redirected to that will pop up and try to scare you into running stuff.
And sometimes when you try to close those windows, it won't let you.
Yeah.
In which case, my option is always just Control-Alt-Delete, shut down whatever program, whatever web surfing program you're in. If you want to feel super safe after you do that, restart your computer.
Yeah, just restart. Restart your computer is always a good thing anyways. One way that websites or bad things come into you, you won't even notice it, is through third-party websites. So for example,
well, I think this is the one thing that's really concerning me right now with people with these COVID scams, is that I'm seeing a lot of information on, we're so behind a firewall and Pi-hole. I don't see ads when I'm in the office, but I see them on my phone. And what's really scary is it's ads like for hand sanitizer or for face masks or for gloves, all things that are sort of scare tactics to get people to click on them. Oh, I need gloves, I need hand sanitizer. And what happens is when you click on these ads, they look legitimate, but in the back end, there's sort of bad guy websites running that are then able to sort of get and install bad stuff on your computer.
Or it redirects you to like a fake eBay or fake Amazon.
Right.
You don't really notice it, but it looks identical.
Right. And it's just really sneaky and awful, and I hate it.
Yeah. So Pi-hole is free software out there that basically uses lists that are community maintained, and these lists contain bad websites. So ads, malware, spyware, all kinds of terrible things. It runs in the background. You never notice it. It just takes an old 10-year-old PC to run, even older than that, anything small. And to give you an example of what it looks like, on the left is a website without ad block and without Pi-hole, and on the right is with Pi-hole. So it basically lets the website through and strips out all the bad stuff, and it's awesome.
This is really important for businesses. We have multiple employees when they're working at home and they're working in the office, because it also gives your employees some level of protection that they're not going to be, getting into something that they shouldn't be,
right,
accidentally.
Right.
And you were talking about the sites that Pi-hole blocks. It's community of people that keep putting more and more websites into it that we know that need to be blocked. Everything from ads and illegal drugs and fraud and porn, all different things that just you shouldn't be coming into especially your business network.
Right. Your business network should be a safe haven for surfing the web. But unfortunately, we're human. We all go surfing the web on our lunch breaks during the day. Somebody sends us a cool link to somewhere. This can help protect your network. Ours, for example, right now is blocking, 1.1 million websites and the different things.
And because it's not that we visited 1.1 million sites, but it's all the sites associated with the sites we visit.
Right. Well, no, those are the 1 million is the sites that are in the lists. So all the lists combined. Right. And during the day, we might hit 40,000 links, and it's not sitting here. It's not us, clicking 40,000 times. It's an aggregate of our phones looking something up.
Right.
Your TV looking something up, your PlayStation, that kind of thing. And 29% of all internet traffic is blocked, and you don't even notice it. So everything is faster on our end. Websites load faster. There's less junk coming up, and it all gets stopped. So Pi-hole is a lifesaver.
And you just really need to be careful about ransomware and cryptoviruses, especially right now. I think there's a lot of anxiety going on in offices, and sometimes our guards are a little bit down because we're using the internet as a communication tool.
Yeah.
So we're just trusting a lot of the time the information that we're seeing is accurate, but the bad guys are really taking advantage of this. I'm just cautioning everyone, if none of it, the City of Woodstock, the University of Calgary, Life Labs, if they can all get hit with a cryptovirus,
so can you.
So can you.
And
so
now,
can all of us.
And especially if more people are going to work from home, you have to be really diligent about protecting your business stuff.
It's just bad. It's just prime time for bad guy stuff.
So, picture somebody at home, their website gets broken into, or their computer gets broken into, and they are currently logged into their business's Office 365 world. Now the bad guys have access to all their stuff.
Right. So if you need more info on this, we have a webinar about data protection on our website that covers all of this plus a lot more. Absolutely free. We've opened it up for everyone to be able to see anytime on thinktechnica.com. And I'm just going to lay it out there to see if there's any questions.
I think everybody's muted. So if you have a question, just put it in, just let us know in the chat and I can unmute you. Any questions? We don't have any on the Facebook Live.
Anybody
think?
No questions?
No, maybe it was such a good presentation. We answered all the questions.
One just came in, is Pi-hole free?
Is Pi-hole free?
Oh, here's some chats. Pi-hole is free, absolutely. Go to, I'll pull up the URL here. Just type Pi-hole. And it's right here on piehole.net. So it advertises itself as a network-wide ad blocking, but it does much, much, much more than that. It's easy to set up for a nerd like me. In reality, it's easy for anybody to set up. So go ahead and take a look at piehole.net, and all the info is here. And again,
Shoot us a chat.
yeah,
if you need
just
info.
shoot us a note. I'm happy to help. I love doing this kind of stuff. I like people. I hate ads. I like people. So let's
I think that just described our whole working relationship.
yeah.
Okay, any other last questions? Will you share this?
Yeah, we'll share the slides.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%. 100% we can do that. Yeah. You
So
bet.
I'll make sure I get those out to everyone that joined us today. And you
And-
guys said earlier, if you have other questions, they can just visit your website.
Totally. Absolutely. Yep. Or they can email you and you can pass it on to me in chat, that we do often during the day, you and I. And yeah, anytime, just reach out, especially right now. We know we're just getting lots of people with just questions. And we love to answer questions. Please don't feel like if you send us a question that you're going to get an invoice. What we're really about
Yeah.
is
No, we're not
helping
lawyers. No.
is helping educate. If there's any lawyers on the call, I'm sorry.
No, you gotta make
We're
your
just
money.
about educating people, especially right now. We want to be here to help. So please feel free to just send us any questions at all, and we'll get back to you right away.
I have another question from Facebook.
Yeah.
Can you list the password manager options? Maybe your top 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, that absolutely. You know what? Password manager options. KeePass is my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
KeePass is great because you can also have it on your phone as well. And that's sort of more individual, small, very small business. I wouldn't use it on a large business.
No, for large business, there's other things. I can't remember the name of it right now.
It's on our other presentation. Of
That's
course.
right. Yeah.
Can't remember. But yes, we have, I can absolutely send a list and put it up on our website for sure. And I'll share that list with Stephanie as well. And Stephanie, maybe you can put that out there.
For sure. This will be saved on Facebook Live, so I can just put all the links onto the comments of the Facebook
Great.
link, so it's all going to be stored in the same place for everybody. Are there any concerns about KeePass getting hacked?
Any concerns about KeePass getting hacked? I keep forgetting you can't hear because I have the headphones on.
Not if you use a really good password for it. So you need to use one. Yeah, you have to remember one really good password.
I think
And you
ours is
lock
like
up-
50 characters long.
Oh,
It's
it's
ridiculous.
It's a paragraph, and then we store our KeePass in Google Drive, and we share that with each other. And I can get KeePass. I can open it up on my phone. I can open it up on a client's computer, and I don't worry about it. There's other ones that tie into the browser. It's escaping my mind right now. Some of them are good. Some of them have bad track histories. There's a couple of these password manager sites that I got broken into. But KeePass is an independent program, and it's being verified by all the super nerds for vulnerabilities. So I trust it without thinking about it. Even if somebody, I can give you my database and you won't be able to open it.
Awesome. Someone else put in Dashlane. Do you have any experience with Dashlane?
Do you have any experience with Dashlane?
Dashlane, haven't heard of it.
Okay. Someone shared that as a resource, so something to check out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Any last questions? That's good. Okay. Thank you, Jens and Anita, for taking the time to put this presentation together super quickly. Time is of the essence right now with everything going on, so we really appreciate it and appreciate you being available for our members as they send in some additional questions to you if they have any.
You bet, Stephanie. It's always awesome working with you guys. And thanks for everything the Chamber's doing right now. Like, what an amazing job you guys are doing at getting information out there, being supportive in the community. I am just so proud to be a member right now.
Thanks, Anita. That means a lot. And yeah, we are working really hard to get as much information out as possible. We will also be doing some more webinars between hopefully now and next Wednesday or Thursday on setting up e-commerce shops, the EI and everything that the government's announced and what that actually looks like and how to implement it for your business. The details haven't been released yet. So once they do, we'll have a lawyer explain what that means for your business, and also some finance resources to help you keep your cash flow going. And on that note, I just want to add that we are running a support local campaign. Our local businesses are struggling right now, and we want to do everything we can to help them. order online, order delivery, buy a gift card for now so that you can pick up something later. But our businesses need help. So if you go to tricitieschamber.com, you'll see a full list of our growing list of businesses that are still operating and that have changed their procedures so they can help you. So any support and love you can give back to them is much appreciated in this time. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Steph.
Okay, have a good one.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.